I've been realizing that a way of moving through life is um, about knocking on doors, like engaging, obviously not just waiting. So knocking on door and see which one will open. And when they don't open, you go to the neighbor and you try the next one. Mm. But then that feels like rejection sometimes when the door didn't open. And I realized that if I'm so disconnected from myself, then I absolutely need that door to open because I make it mean something about myself. So I would go and knock on doors and wait. I'll just be available. Whenever you want to open the door, I'll just stay here and wait. Which is a bad idea because I'm rather impatient, so I don't know why I put myself into that situation of waiting and waiting and waiting. So I'll knock on the door and I'll just wait. But yeah, actually I get impatient. So I'm like, "Hello? Hello?" And then I keep knocking. "Hello, hello, hello." Maybe someone's there. And I'll keep on knocking. Maybe someone's there. And then guess what? It's very possible that A, there's no one. Two, that this person is just not available. Maybe they're doing something. They're just not available. It's possible they just don't want to talk to me. Also, like that's true. It's possible. But what happened is when I keep forcing on the door, like at some point it's just like a little knock becomes like a big knock for the other person on the other side. It's like maybe even if it's a little bit hello, 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 it's kind of annoying. So I'll just get, you know, keep knocking, and then the person will just like open the door and be like, "Can't you see I'm not available? Like, go away." And then I'm like, "Oh my god, that's rejection. Oh, I'm unloved." Well, I kind of pushed it also. And so this idea of forcing and pushing. So I've been exploring has been exploring the idea that when the door is not opening, it's because it's not for me. Like they're either not available, and that's okay. And that doesn't have to mean something about me. Is even when the door is opening, it doesn't need to mean something about me. So I'm seeing it like little steps. Okay, the door is opening. What happened when I say hi? Is there still an opening? Oh, okay. But I need to be connected with myself to be able to feel those things, and I need to be okay with them rejecting me. Um, I remember when I did a big change in my life where I had been farming for several years, and we were ready to buy a farm, and we were visiting farms, and every time I don't know how I was so connected with myself because I was quite disconnected in general, but hey, maybe I wasn't that disconnected. Yay, good for me. But we would go visit farms to buy, and every time I was like, nope, no, not that one, not that one, not that one. And my partner at the time was getting impatient with me. Like, well, it's gonna have to be one because we were renting the farm before. Now we were ready to buy. And I kept saying no. And then the way I really felt it is like I kept knocking on the door of buying a farm, but no doors were opening. There was not a yes coming from me. There were farm for sale, of course, you can, but it wasn't coming as a yes for me. So it was a closed door. And then I had the idea, what if we just sell everything after like almost 10 years of business and a thriving business? What if we don't sell? What if we sell everything, keep a container with small tools, maybe if we want to go back to farming? And because right now the door to farming does not seem to open, we needed to leave where we were renting soon. So I felt like the door of farming was not opening. And so I had the idea, okay, let's sell everything. And well, there was not an and after yet. And my partner was not not happy about that. It's like, we just bought a new Sprinter van, and we had our clients, and things were finally, getting like streamlined, and we have the animals and the tractors and all that. So, and all the veggie production. But the moment I was like, let's try another door. Farming doesn't seem to be opening. Let's open that door. And then it felt like a yes. My partner at the time resisted it for a long time. And then the day that I came and I said, we just need a decision here. We don't need the whole story of what we're going to do and what. I just need a decision. I had made my decision, and the doors kept opening to me. And so I kept opening that door a little bit more and see how far can I go. So it eventually led me to own that I needed to leave and that he can do whatever he wants, But he ended up taking some time for himself because I stopped forcing and pushing him and convincing him, and he decided to come along. Then that was a decision, and then we could figure out one step at a time, one little door at a time, what is opening. We put the horse equipment for sale. It was selling. Then my partner said, we just bought a van, I don't want to have to sell it. Like, we finally got it, and it doesn't make sense to sell it like a brand new van. You lose so much value. And then I was like, okay, so let's go on a road trip. How's that opening? It opened. So it was just like opening a little bit at a time. And we ended up leaving for 3 years and go back to farming after. But it was just one door at a time. But one thing I kept doing in relationship, though, is that at some point I wanted emotional connection around me. I was ready. I felt ready for emotional connection. And I kept knocking on doors of people who were not available for that. And I can make them bad for it because I think it's really important. Or I could just say, they're not available. Where's the other door? Of course, there's more at stake than just going, you've been together for years and we were business partner, we had a child, and, so of course I would keep on knocking a little bit gently, but at some point I need to get the message. So I think it's okay to knock and maybe come back, but it's the waiting. It's just the waiting in front of the door. And when I was waiting in front of the door, the only way I could cope with that was restriction and binging. And that was the only way I could cope with the waiting and I was shrinking and shrinking and shrinking in the waiting. And then my body was like, oh, we can't shrink that much. Let's eat. So the waiting was like, I think it's great to knock on door. Like, okay, the neighbors are not there. I need to give them something. I'll come back tomorrow. But I don't make it mean like, oh, they're rejecting me. I just keep on living my life and then I move on. So I kept knocking on the door that kept not opening. So at some point I need to get the message. And I did not. And I received an open door at some point. Sometimes there was a little bit of opening door. I'm not that stupid. There was a little something and I would go, okay, let's see. But then it was closing again. So that's where I needed to get the message. But it's okay. It takes time and patience. It's fine. But it's just at some point it was really clear and I was not seeing it. And then it became that the door opened really wide, but screaming like, go away. And in the ways that he would, the other person would act out in ways that was really like, not okay if you're in a relationship with someone. Like, it was really painful. He was acting out. But that was a way of saying I'm not available, but I was not getting it. And then I was like, I'm rejected. So I'm now seeing how much the strategy for me, and I'm just going to weave a little bit of human design. I'm not an expert at all, but the generator response, like wait to respond, I got it wrong and I'm still defining what it means for me. But right now where I'm at is that it's not wait for the neighbors to come, wait for the people to come necessarily, although I think it does happen too. but it's more like I engage with what I'm being light up with. So emotional connection. Oh, I'm feeling super excited about this. Let's see who's available for that. Are you? No? Okay. Move on. Are you? Maybe. Okay, let's explore, but I won't like invest my whole life into you and into that thing, because like I'll just go one thing, like one little knock at a time and one little door opening at a time. And this is what I'm learning. And this is what I'm learning that takes a lot less emotional exhaustion, because I don't need to make it mean anything about me. So I know we've heard it. Rejection is redirection. I think it's true though. And it's maybe protection. Some people say that's beautiful too. I think it's just about knock on door and stop making mean anything about you. Even if the door is opening, it doesn't mean anything about you. It doesn't mean that person is available right now. Let's see tomorrow. So that's my inspiration to keep engaging unconditionally, of whether you'll have an open door or not. You keep going and you keep going. And with that attitude, there's, of course, you're going to find your people. Of course, you're going to find your projects, your opportunities. That's what I'm experiencing now. And I'd love to hear from you guys how that resonates and if you've been experiencing that in this way too.